It's not started yet.
Oh, I thought you had.
Okay, you're good now.
Okay. Well, we were waiting for Lisa.
Yes.
The meeting of the Auburn Industrial Development Authority will come to order. Roll call, please.
Oh, Mr. Daisy,
Here.
Mr. Andre.
Here.
Mr. Giantino,
Here.
Mr. Cuddy,
Here.
Ms. McIntyre. Here. Ms. Wilbur McLeod. And Ms. Green.
Here.
He's not on.
It's not on.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
He's not on yet. Nope.
Point of order, we're under new business. We're gonna move sidewalk installation as number one on new business. And Dan, welcome aboard.
Thanks. How are you?
I'm Jim Dacey. Anyone, anybody that doesn't know Dan?
You want to have the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiffany Beebe. I'm not AIDA. I'm City of Auburn Planning Department.
Nice to meet you.
Taylor Simons, I actually staff the IDA.
I know you.
I know you, Dan. Nice
How about you?
Mike Miller, I'm the executive director for the IDA here as well as CETA.
Nice to meet you.
Dan will be on hold for tomorrow's city council.
Welcome to the board. Thank you.
Welcome.
It's all right.
Okay, the minutes of the August 17th meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Jim, Terry, second. Is there any changes or additions to the minutes?
I just saw two typos in one paragraph on the CETA staff update, the second to last line.
Alright, I'll correct it.
I meant to say damn.
I wasn't at the meeting, so maybe that happened.
I don't know.
I know.
We don't know.
Okay, thank you. Any other changes or additions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions carried. Bills and communications.
For this month, we had the standard monthly payment for TGW for $4,750. And then we have the bill for Hancock Estabrook for $3,289.15. And that's just for through August 25th.
Motion on the floor to accept the bills.
Second,
Katie, second, please. Jim?
No, just for clarification, the bill from Hancock Estabrook is going to be paid by who pays that? Is it?
You do. AIDA.
He did.
AIDA pays it. Yeah, that's for Rick and Rob Hoyer.
But AIDA doesn't, we've never really paid.
Oh, yeah.
We pay them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
No, I thought it's through the, we talked about this last month. It doesn't the person that gets the pilot pay for their services?
Not always, no.
And they do more than just
Yeah.
the pilots. There's other things that they.
So just for them to
Go
attend
to
the
the
meeting, we
meetings.
get charged for that too. Yes, you can. So even preparing resolutions, any council they give to us is included in these bills. So it's not just for projects. Well, there's Rick right there.
There I am. Sorry.
They're questioning the Hancock
Yeah.
bill that was sent over. It was $3,289.15. This tells us it's our account statement through August 25th.
Oh, they shouldn't be sending.
Yeah. this
No?
is-
They shouldn't be
I
sending.
know,
Okay,
so
No, Terrapin paid.
yeah, they
Yeah.
paid, yep.
And I think Rob's still talking to Nolan Dot. They haven't paid.
So this could be
But
the
it's not-
Nolan block payment?
Nolan, yeah, so the balance is Nolan Dot.
Okay, because
Yeah.
nothing was sent with it, just, that was all we
They
got.
shouldn't be sending those.
can we?
Because you don't owe it anyway. It's the project owner's responsibility.
Okay,
But it's invoiced to AIDA.
yeah,
Because technically,
Yeah,
you're the
that's
client.
confusing.
But yeah,
Wow.
so,
But
That's how it
the
works.
But it's
I'm
a
not-
pass-through,
project
isn't it?
developer pays it
yeah,
directly.
they pay it directly.
The bill
So,
goes to you because you're our client. But the
mhm,
project developer, when he signs the application,
mhm.
says he will pay your legal bills.
so we don't, so,
So we should never receive a bill from you.
that's why I
I thought it
wanted
was a pass-through.
Are there,
It
to
is.
bring it up, because I don't want
Yeah,
this to be
exactly.
something that kind of automatically happens without us. You know, my point being is that the pilot, the pilot receives it and pays it. So,
are there instances where we would get a bill from you that
It's
isn't paid by the developer?
Very, very unusual. No, on any developer project, the developer.
Oh,
always
yeah.
pays. Couple times when we've had litigation or other situations.
Legal advice or something, we
Well,
might.
legal advice, it's on the house.
That's
Um,
great.
Yeah.
yeah, it's-
Yeah, we don't charge for meetings,
Okay.
you know, calls, things come up. No, we don't charge for that. So the one I can think of most recently is litigation over the cell tower.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's when things get, we need you outside the purview of pilots.
That's right.
So,
In 40 years, I'm gonna say there's been like three situations ever where AIDA
Katie,
actually
would
had
you
to
pass that?
that's why I didn't want to.
There.
Thanks, Terry, for catching that.
Now it's official.
No, so it doesn't.
I almost thought I was like,
It's not
but I
your
was
bill.
in a different reality for a second.
So we're amending the motion, Katie, to just include the TGW marketing program invoice. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Approved. Now we'll vote on the bill as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions carried. Thank you. Report of the treasurer.
Okay, so for the month of August, we finally had some income. So that is the fee for the Ryan Cove project. And then a little bit, did you say there's a little bit from Terrapin? in
No,
there?
Terrapin's not in that one.
Okay, so this is all
Terrapin
just
will
from,
come, you'll see it next month, but
Okay.
they paid.
and the expenses reflect the TGW bill and the $900 bill that was approved last month to the citizen. So we still have a loss for the year, but we did get some income, so $51,000 net loss at this point.
And for the benefit of our incoming member, traditionally, much of the pilot payments come at the end of the year. So they have until a certain date. Taylor, what's the date that the
Normally
deadline?
it's 30 days after build. We'd like to have them done by close of year.
So December, they,
There again, those are passed through.
Yeah, those are passed.
Yeah, I
We don't
think-
keep that.
To be fair,
Not the
part of
pilot,
that
yeah.
deficit is the fact that we're undergoing a marketing campaign because we had such a large balance in our account. We felt that was the time. We had some projects last year that brought in significant revenue. Now is the time to kind of market all as a place to do business. So we do have a lot going out monthly, but it's because we had so much in our savings account that we thought now was the time to undertake that marketing campaign.
So projects in the pipeline that we might expect to receive revenue from before the end of the year, are there? Not really.
No,
Okay, so we will just, this was kind of a planned loss for
Yes.
this year.
yep, we brought this to you guys' attention, this time last year, actually,
I wasn't.
to
I wasn't
take
on the
this
board then.
on. And it'll be another topic of discussion if you'd like to continue. TGW is here to do their presentation, so
okay, so
those are questions you can always ask them.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, since the contract services,
That we know,
that year-to-date is,
it's not accurate.
it's not accurate.
So you're like, we stated this a couple times now.
So that number should be lower.
It'll be lower, so your deficit that you have should be about 20,000 lower. $25,000 lower, yep. But that is on the Buffington and Holden, they know adjusted journal entries need to happen for that before we close out the year. They know it's there.
So they'll fix that during the audit.
We'll fix it before the audit, so,
Okay.
yep. So before we go through our next audit next year, that will be handled, yep.
Okay.
Just to be clear, there are several companies that are making their pilot payments before the end of the year as well, so,
All should be made before the end of the year.
yes. So that's where.
But that just comes in and goes out.
Right,
Okay.
we don't
pay
have
that.
revenue on that.
Okay, so we're, right now, there's just not a lot of new activity.
Right.
Correct, yep, you guys have had a quiet year.
Yes.
Mhm.
Doesn't seem it, but
Quiet.
motion on the floor to accept the balance sheet and profit and loss.
Second.
All those in favor? I believe the discussion's over.
Yeah, it should just be noted that the change will be made. Yes.
Yeah.
For the year end.
Yeah, we noted that, I think, 2 months ago, but it's been noted and it's on the record.
Okay,
And it's about 25,000. you
About
said?
25, yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions carried. Thank you. Unfinished business, see the staff update.
The only major update we have from our end is the hospital and Park Grove project has moved forward with the CCIDA. They had a public hearing earlier this week on Monday morning, and they accepted the project as proposed yesterday afternoon. So we are now going to proceed with closing over the next couple of months with that project.
What's the length of the pilot? that was approved?
15 years. I'm happy
Where
to
is that
answer any other
located again?
questions. Excuse me?
Where is that located?
So, do you know the parking lot right in front of the hospital on the corner of Lansing? and-
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where they're.
So is that, I'm just curious, like that, it's a county IDA project, even though it's in the city?
So, as has been discussed with this IDA as well as the IDA, this is a very, very odd situation that the hospital elected to not go with AIDA here, but instead to go with CCIDA. And the reasoning behind that is that it's for the benefit of the county.
If I may,
Yes.
I can't let that go. They went to the county because they did not like some of the questions they had from AIDA. That's why they went to the county, and shame on Jason for presenting it that way. They came to us first. When we had some questions that they did not approve of, they went to the county. Case closed.
Unfortunately, the way our authority is written, the county can come into the city, but the city can't go into the county, so they had every right to do that. It's unusual, absolutely.
It just should have been reported properly.
The members of the CCIDA, board members in particular, made it known to the hospital and the developer. This is a very unusual situation, and I think the only consideration they truly had to take the project on is everyone's belief that this is a much needed project for our county here. But as it has developed, they made it known this is very irregular.
Did they get better terms than they were going to get with us?
What's that?
I can't speak to that because I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
I'm sorry.
I just wondered if they got better terms going through the county than they would have gotten with.
We never
with AIDA.
got to terms. We,
Oh, okay.
if you look at the meeting that we had with them in February,
Just before I came in.
there was some really good questions asked, which should have been asked. Apparently, they didn't like the questions that were asked.
Okay,
At that time, they were talking 30 years. And to my knowledge, nobody here said, there's no way you're gonna get 30 years. I mean, publicly, it wasn't said, but no,
okay.
there's no way they were gonna get 30 years.
Did they get that with the county?
No, they got 15.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So
I was
so you
just
know,
curious.
They never formally presented an application to AIDA. They did a presentation of what they thought they were going to do. And they were, as they stated, they were advised to speak to the IDA before submitting an application. So they presented to the board and then chose to end with CCIDA.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to open.
No, it's okay.
Didn't know.
You're fine, you're fine. Yeah,
We-
it's good.
We are still on good terms with CCIDA.
Yeah. Real.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Mike?
From my end, I'll inquire about Taylor and Maureen if they have anything to add.
I don't have any.
I did not.
Okay.
Is the small business a support and it's just a standing agenda item?
You asked for that last year.
Thank you. Well, is there anything, there's nothing to talk about?
No.
I would just like at some point, I don't know if this is the meeting, but to understand more about the status of the micro enterprise project. So if that's a seated conversation, but I would like to understand more about that.
Okay.
Small business support?
No. Gwen just asked, future time for the micro enterprise to be talked about.
Okay, as I said, that we were moving the sidewalk installation to the forefront on new business.
Sure. So the city has been installing sidewalks in the neighborhood of Case Ave and Prine Ave and on a portion of Bradley Street for the past 2 years. So initial discussion for this project, actually discussion would have been 3 years ago, did not include installing sidewalks along the 3 parcels that AIDA owns along Case Ave. Those parcels are all zoned residential. As discussion kind of morphed over the next 2 years, we decided that we should use the opportunity to install sidewalks along these parcels. So we had a street fully complete with sidewalks on both sides, have it be fully connectivity. So it's funded with the CDBG program, which is designed to benefit persons of low to moderate income. The sidewalks are installed at no cost to the owners of the property, but the owners of the property are responsible for maintenance, which would include, mowing the city right of way and
Shoveling,
snow
snow
removal. Yes.
Are they vacant lots? Are there houses?
No, the 3 parcels that AIDA owns are vacant, zoned residential. I believe AIDA probably owns some other properties that abut up to these. I'm not, sure what your plans are for the properties. So the city requires that a public hearing is held if we're going to install sidewalks in an area where there had not previously been sidewalks. So we did that for all of the other properties along Prine Ave and Case Ave, but we missed including the AIDA parcels. So we wanted to come today to see if we could have permission to install sidewalks there or not. We unfortunately did not catch this, and there is a small section of sidewalk that has been installed along the corner of just off of Bradley already. And we have done tree removal in the right of way. So
No cost to us.
it's no cost for the installation, but there is the maintenance.
So once the sidewalks are
consideration.
put in, somebody has to
How are-
snow
how are you
removal and mow?
Maintaining sidewalks at other properties now. Do we have sidewalks at other vacant properties? No. So we would need to mow.
But do we have other sites that have to be mowed now?
So I do know, I don't know who's mowing this.
Somebody is.
But this little portion there is actually mowed now.
Oh, so one of the neighbors or somebody must
Yeah,
be doing it.
It could be, yeah,
We don't
I'm,
perform any maintenance on our property. So
Yeah.
we don't.
Well, we could just leave well enough alone then, if there were someone's doing it.
So if they're zoned residential, would we, if we were to take those properties and put projects there, would they need to be rezoned?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it would have to go for a variance, right? We'd have to go to zoning.
Or could we just sell those
Sell
properties
those
for
properties.
building?
That's a question I wanted to ask. Like,
Yeah,
why don't?
Why are we
market
holding
those
them?
Building lots for residential
Yeah,
homes and put for sale signs.
With
in
new
them?
sidewalks?
yeah.
yeah.
Is this something the city would be interested in purchasing?
I don't
I
believe the
doubt
city
the
would be
city.
purchasing them.
But we could just get a realtor and, yeah,
Yeah.
put it through a realtor.
I think that was purchased as part of a bigger project. When we,
What?
in the technology part there, we
In the technology park, yeah.
bought property there, and I think that this was part of the overall.
Are they,
Project.
are
I
they
think
a
the
standard
city-
residential lot
I think the city
size?
actually gave us those lots.
I mean,
The city actually.
Could you
gave
put
them
houses
that.
on them?
I have not done
We-
measurements,
we spent money.
to know
Was
for
there
sure.
calculation
They
that we
look
could
Look like they could
Standard.
have to have trees cleared.
These three parcels, it looks like
Probably.
there's a little bit of a hill
30
here.
years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should sell them.
So I just want to make sure, so you're asking the AIDA board to give the city permission to put sidewalks there? Or are you presenting this to us as that if you do, then we also have to take responsibility for maintenance?
both
Okay.
essentially, because whoever owns the property
Mhm.
is responsible for maintenance on the sidewalks, on your property in the city right away. So I'm just trying to be transparent,
Mhm.
because I don't want, I mean, I have no idea if a neighbor would complain that, oh, they can't walk by the nice wooded lot now in the winter time and say, and call the city, and then there would be a violation. So I don't want that to happen. I want to be very transparent. So this, I am asking for permission to
Hold a
install the
public hearing.
sidewalks, but with saying that,
There
letting
comes
you
a
know that it-
responsibility.
yes.
Do we have it, what if we say no, we don't want sidewalks?
I was just gonna ask that.
Would you just not do it, or would you say, no, we have to have sidewalks?
I believe from conversations that I've had that at this point, we would just say, okay, we're not gonna do it. We'll make sure that it's cleaned up from the tree removal work that we've done. And we would leave it at this point. There was support in the neighborhood for sidewalks when we initially held the public hearing.
That
But
makes sense. I think we should do the sidewalks and then try and sell the lots.
What's the extent of the tree removal so far?
just along the city right away, along all three parcels.
Well, to me, if we do the sidewalks, the presenting issue is that who's gonna take care of them? We all getting branded shovels and I don't have that skill set actually, but I know how to pay for that service. But because I think that's the issue, that if we decided to support the installation of the sidewalks, it's the in the meantime strategy.
Right. So we gotta sell before snow falls, Gwen.
That's probably not gonna happen.
I mean, I'm all for, especially like the city has a mission to be more walkable, like
Right.
I'm all for adding sidewalks. I think it improves the quality of neighborhoods. But I'm not gonna volunteer to shovel.
But the mechanics of it for us is, we don't have anything in place to maintain that.
That's the
That's-
issue.
We'd have to contract somebody to.
Yeah.
to maintain.
Maybe
Yeah.
the city to do it for us.
Mm-mm.
We'll just go over, just before lunch break.
They charge a very,
Yeah.
very hefty fee to do that for homeowners who don't do it, and then they slap on a 50% administrative fee or something.
What's your timeline for installation? Do you need a decision tonight?
I would prefer a decision tonight. We paused installation and moved work over to another street at this time on Case Ave. So we're all done on Case Ave except for these 3 parcels. So we're currently working on Chase Street.
The sidewalk enhances the value
Mhm.
when you market them. And
I do
Might
believe if
be
any
less.
project went in
I
there,
agree.
sidewalks would be required at that time.
So hire somebody for a few months to clear the snow if you don't have them sold. that winter.
Get themselves fall in
No,
the
it's-
spring. I mean, we don't know. Is there anybody that would want to buy those lots? I don't know.
What are they valued at?
Do you have the
That's
assessed
us.
values?
We have to put me on moment to look at all 3 of them.
So it sounds like the decision we need to make is whether or not we are supporting the city putting in the sidewalks. I mean, I think that's the business decision. And then if we agree to do that, then I think it's incumbent upon us operationally to decide how we're gonna clear them. I'm saying that kind of as a question. Is that, am I getting the issue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I picking up what you're putting down here? Okay. Do we need to put a motion on the floor to do what, how do we need to do this?
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to put a motion on, so why don't we put the motion on the floor so we can discuss it
To all
further?
3 to combine.
We have a motion on putting sidewalks in on 5355 Case Avenue and 26 Bradley Street.
I'll make the motion.
Second, please,
I'll second.
Katie. My question is, these empty properties going down toward Bradley, across the road from where we are, our property is, are they putting sidewalks in on those empty lots?
Nope, we have not been doing that stretch of empty lots. We did install sidewalks along the east side of Bradley Street. There was not currently sidewalks there. So we kind of made it walkable from Case Ave down Bradley, up Perrine Ave. I know we put sidewalks in front of another vacant lot. It was 20 to 40 Canoga Street, I believe. I believe at one point there was talk of a project going there. So we've been trying to make the neighborhood as walkable as possible.
How much, do you know how much to install those sidewalks are gonna be or no?
I believe that'll be approximately, we have in our budget, we set aside 14,000, just over 14,000.
For the 3 properties?
Yes, and that does not include the tree removal work that's been done. That's just the installation of the concrete sidewalks.
Is there any, like, for the plumbing or anything, water, that's not part of it, you're just putting a sidewalk,
Mhm.
right? And all the laterals are easily accessible for when,
Like if somebody put a house there,
somebody
they
put a
wouldn't have to
house
dig
there.
up the sidewalk to have water. and
Um,
sewer,
There's
right?
probably not utilities there.
Yeah,
Are there-
I do not know the question on utilities. I
I
would think if you're going to be building, there would be, you'd have to be going over one portion of the sidewalk already at that point with machinery.
so it's $14,000. My perspective is this, and I see the walkability, this is my perspective, and I think that, I like the idea of having the sidewalks go all the way down, but at the same time, you know, I know the board. I just, it's, at least from my perspective, I think that the maintenance is gonna be hard to to manage, and how much that would be. That's fine. I think unless we have a plan to sell immediately, once the sidewalks are going, that's the only way I would say, like, to put the sidewalks in and sell immediately. Otherwise, I don't think it would be,
Every time you have an appreciable snow, it's gonna cost probably $120, $150 to clean it.
Yeah. My point of view is we own the property, it is within the neighborhood of the school. If we're enhancing walkability in that neighborhood, keeping kids out of the street, potentially, it's our responsibility. And the school district owns the corner of Clymer and South, and they have to maintain all that sidewalk.
Mhm.
And it's part of owning the property as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm gonna support adding sidewalks.
So I guess the only other question I have is that, is there a line item that we have in place to pull the money from? I mean, it just gets down to.
Contract
We'd have to-
services.
we'd have to-
We do it out of contract.
contract.
We'd have to put it in the contract
Okay.
or
Your
create a separate line.
You'd have
item.
to create one, because that contract services is dedicated to your contract services with CEDA.
I got it.
So we
Okay.
would have to create another line item for actual contract services.
All right.
And then do we have the money to find the line, to put money into the line item once we created it?
Your savings account
Is it
has
one-
one.
All three are about $42,000.
Combined.
Mhm.
Okay. But they're separate tax IDs?
Mhm.
So you're assuring us that there's no direct cost? Direct cost.
There is no cost for the installation of the sidewalk.
But the future cost of maintenance is there.
Yes, that's,
I'd be for it if we, like, in the same breath, put them on the market.
Yeah, I mean, I would, and I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about it now, but I would be in favor of enlisting a real estate agent and enlisting these 3 properties. If they're residential, we can get somebody to buy them and build houses down there. That's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
I don't think
Are lots
housing-
selling in the city?
What's that?
Are lots selling well in the city
There
right now?
just aren't vacant lots in
There
the
aren't a
city
lot of
really
vacant
to
lots.
sell.
I mean, I know that the lots up in the Bexley Drive, which obviously is different neighborhoods, they just sold for a pretty penny, I think, over 40,000 a piece.
Yeah, there's very few vacant lots in the city.
So does the sidewalk go all the way down? And somebody said, like, you have to bring machinery over the sidewalk?
I
You can't.
I don't
So,
I
'cause
don't
like
know.
somebody's already got a driveway. I take it, they probably have a break in the sidewalk, right?
The sidewalks
Yeah.
go over everybody's driveway
City
where
driveway.
where
Yeah.
it goes over the driveway, it's 8 inches thick versus 4 inches thick, where there's
Here,
not a
it's just
driveway.
Straight sidewalk.
This would be straight sidewalk, yeah, because we don't know where there would be a driveway in the future.
And you said you don't know where the utilities come in.
I-
these lots?
I did not look that up. I would have to get back to you.
Well, have these always been vacant lots?
Yes, I believe so.
Probably not utilities pulled in.
No.
so lateral's gotta be extended down.
Typically, they can missile underneath the sidewalk. They don't have to necessarily rip up the sidewalk to put a water line in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I tend to agree with you, but I would question, I can't tell by this picture whether or not they're improvable lots where you could actually build a building, what the terrain is like. You know, are they sellable?
I don't think-
That. I really don't know. I haven't been down that area in a long time. I can't even remember.
According to Rick, they were gift by the city
Yeah,
to us.
right.
According to Jim, it was for a project that might have been happening with that.
Yes.
with-
No, I mean, same thing. There was a technology park.
Yeah.
There was a big plot of land that was given by the city to AIDA, and I'm pretty sure these were included as a part of that bigger parcel.
That was more than 30 years ago.
20, yeah, 30, so, park, 30. Oh, yeah, more than 30.
Yeah, because the BOCES
That's
building
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn
it'd
that
be more
over,
than 30.
yeah. You have to know tonight?
When would you propose to vote, I guess, just so I would know for our sidewalk contractor, we'll have crews out for a few more weeks, as long as our change order is approved tomorrow night.
What if we didn't even have an answer? Could we get a next year's sidewalk program?
Potentially, I
No
really,
guarantee.
yeah, I really just try, if you came to a public meeting and spoke in favor of it,
Is the funding available next year?
They have it every year, don't we?
we get the funding every year. If you wanted to propose sidewalks next year, I would ask that there would be support at a public meeting or hearing, asking for the sidewalks at the location, since
Yeah.
we've already
We just get other residents
been
to come to the meeting.
there. At that time, we would also do a public hearing to and asking for permission to install at these parcels. It's not something that you would want to put off for a number of years if it's of
Yeah.
interest, because the areas that we can work on in are based off of American Community Survey data, which changes every few years. So this particular area of the city is an area that historically we've never been able to use this funding source in. It was just in the most recent update to the data that we've been able to go onto these streets. So there's, census tract 421, we've worked in there historically, but this is an area we've never been in, so I was just trying to get
Yeah.
it as much done as we could.
I feel like somebody from here, from the agency needs to go down and look at the property and
Sure,
assess whether it's some, if anyone would buy it. And then, because you bringing this to us raises the whole point of why are we holding the property, maybe. But if it's not really a buildable lot, then.
How about asking the realtor that, we're approaching, who's gonna list it? Ask the realtor, do you think these properties are more saleable with or without the sidewalks in?
Pretty sure they would say with. Yeah.
I don't know. That would support a decision, do it or not do it.
But that's gonna take a little bit of time. You need an answer.
Also, I would be wondering, would we have to issue an RFP to find a contractor to do it? Do we have to issue an
A
RFP?
realtor, you mean? Or
No, I mean, to
for the
clear the
maintenance?
sidewalks, yeah, for the maintenance. We
No,
wouldn't.
this is tacked on to the city CDBG sidewalk.
No.
she
but
means
the-
for
the
maintenance,
For the
for the
maintenance,
removal.
not to put, not to install, but
I'm
to
sorry, I don't
actually,
think that-
will we have to issue an
The amount of
RFP to
money that we're
contract?
talking about, I don't think we do.
I know, do you have a
What's-
procurement policy that has a limit?
I believe.
I don't know, I
there's a
haven't
limit,
seen.
I
isn't
don't
there?
know what the number is. I think it's de minimis.
A lot of questions.
Not a lot of answers to.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I literally woke up at the middle of the night one night and was like, I need to double check this.
We're meeting the 19th of October. Is that too late?
In another month. Depends on the weather, right? It might be too
yeah,
late to do sidewalks.
There's just an awful lot of
Full board.
questions.
Sure,
here.
I mean, I can, at this point, what I'll do is, hold off the 14,000 for now, that's estimated. Knowing that you guys will potentially vote on October 19th on this matter. And as we'll continue working on, Chase Streets, dependent on council approval tomorrow night.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we need to table it?
We need to table it. Motion to table the motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
And specifically, you want to put down the questions that we have so that we can get those answered before long before the 19th, so that we can.
First, we need somebody to
an
put
answer.
eyes on it.
Pardon me?
We need somebody to put eyes on it. I mean, I'm no judge, so
Yeah.
I,
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be a good idea to just have, have a realtor take a look at it, like what Rick said, you know? And then have them
Well, we're tabling it so we can discuss it.
October 19th.
No, well.
It's just-
no.
it's discuss
Like you
it
said,
now.
But there's a motion on the floor to table it. so.
Yes.
So the motion's been tabled.
Did we vote to table? We had a
Yes.
first and second. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions carried. Thank you. We hope to have an answer for you before the 19th.
Absolutely. If you have any questions in the meantime, I'd be happy to answer them. And if you do go down and take a look at the property, I will let you know that there are trees that have been cut down in the right of way that at this point have not been cleaned up, just because I was waiting to hear what the decision is to hopefully not have our contractor, go in and have to mobilize twice to that area. But be assured, if you choose not to install sidewalks at this time, it will be cleaned up. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for your consideration.
Mhm.
And I think Rick's idea of getting a realtor, take a look at it, look at the feasibility of whether they're usable.
So what do we have to do to have a realtor? Can we just ask someone, or do we have to have a
They'll, if
process?
they think there's a chance of getting a listing, they'll go look at it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So do we,
So
I don't know. Who do you want to ask? I don't.
you guys decide. Just-
Well, the staff, we could have a realtor.
Recommendation. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys decide.
Yeah.
Any preference from the board?
Cities use,
One that's based in the city of Auburn,
Okay.
that's all I care about.
do you have a name, like any realtors?
Sue Reardon.
Yeah.
Amy, the chamber executive.
She works for Subaru also.
So it seems like there was three things though. So we wanted to get a realtor to take a look at it to discern whether or not the property could be used
Is
for
it
building.
marketable?
Is it marketable? If yes, am I hearing us say that we might want to explore putting the lots on the market? And is that the trigger for making the decision about the sidewalk? Because that's what she needs to know. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and I think we should get
Understand the
the
flow.
advice of the realtor,
Okay.
because they may need to put in driveways, and maybe a
Mhm.
sidewalk is in the way, and it's more work for a homeowner who's gonna build, I don't know.
So the first step is just to get a realtor to go discern whether we could. put
The
them on
city has
market.
an ordinance that if a new homeowner comes in and builds a house, they're required to put sidewalks in, I believe. So
That'd be a plus.
I'm pretty sure they'd say do this, if we can get it done for free, that would make it more marketable.
So that's just the thing we need to do for
Yeah.
now, okay?
Yeah, and if they come in on the 18th, answer those questions,
Mhm.
I think we'd be better
Prepared to
prepared
vote, yeah.
Right.
because we were like, too many questions
Yeah.
tonight.
I didn't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'd like to put it before the 18th.
Yeah. Well, if we have all the
So-
information, we'll vote on the 18th.
Because it's,
You can't really vote before that. Can we do electronic vote?
No,
No.
we could have a special meeting.
Oh.
That's really
Okay,
the board to
okay.
make happen.
Mike's gonna do the legwork.
Don't worry.
Okay, moving on. TGW marketing presentation.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. My name is Beal and I work at TGW Studio. I don't know if I've met each of you in person, but it's nice to see you all. And thank you so much for having us for the presentation. I've got some slides which I'll put up. And I can also, I was telling Michael, I can share these around as a PDF file afterwards, so you can really dig in, take a look, gather any questions. I mean, I'm sure you'll have questions and thoughts in the immediate, but always happy to dive in with you all at a later date as well. So I just want to say, we've got a lot of info in the presentation, and I'll cover some of the main talking points right now with you and answer some questions. And then I want this to be, a conversation. So we'll send that over to you and you all can digest it from there. So I'm going to share a screen here and let me know if you can see that. All right. Looks okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So this slide you've seen before. I worked with the marketing committee at the beginning of this year to put together the key objectives and tactics. This will be familiar to folks. This is what we are contracted to work with the Auburn Industrial Development Authority on. The key goals, of course, being brand activation and awareness with that Take Root in Auburn brand. And then capturing the information of and activating some of the new supporters of the Industrial Development Authority. So we're doing that through obviously the brand of Take Root in Auburn, photo, video, podcast assets. We're doing that through the website, through inbound marketing services, paid social, organic social, email marketing, and then building an ambassador program through videos with the AIDA. And so, of course, the goals are to make sure that folks know about the AIDA, its resources, and the City of Auburn as an excellent place for site selectors, relocation, new residential and commercial arrivals. And as you all know, we have an ad budget that's currently split between Facebook and LinkedIn. And I think you also are all aware that we meet bi-weekly with the AIDA staff who keep us apprised of all the things that are going on in the city, and we talk bi-weekly about strategies altogether. So that's just a quick summary. And again, you'll have these slides to really read and digest. But I wanted to go over each of the metrics, some top line things. So on Facebook, just to talk about organic. So this is unpaid efforts. We post multiple times a week on your Facebook channel. And we have more than doubled the number of page likes since the beginning of the year, which, as you'll recall, we started our work with AIDA in 2021. And so we built the brand at that time, and we have in this year alone more than doubled the page likes. We've increased the reach really exponentially in terms of who's seeing organic posts from AIDA. This happens when you have a following, when people are sharing your posts, interacting with your posts. And as you'll see on later pages, it also happens as a result of a paid advertising program, which can really serve to feed and enhance that organic program. We've also seen an awesome increase of engaged users. So again, that's people who are interacting with the content on the AIDA page. And that can be through someone shares it and they have friends, someone shares it from them and they have friends. It kind of creates this exponential networking tool, right, of Facebook. So we're very excited to see the page reach be quite large. And this is encompassing that number here at the bottom, the 103,000 people encompasses the paid program, which I'll get into next. Just so you can see growth over time, obviously we've had a really successful September here with a really great spike day here, but you can see sort of the growth over time of the organic program as people have come to know the AIDA brand, the Take Root brand, and also as that paid program continues to grow and develop. So in every month when we refresh the creative that is in the ad program, that then serves people coming to your organic page and you're seeing growth over time. Paid ads, switching over to that. So every month we create a new set of paid ads to run on Facebook, and they also run on Instagram. And on Instagram, they are connected directly to the AIDA Facebook page. So there's lots of, because those are owned by the same parent company, you're seeing ads sort of across those platforms, whether you're on the Instagram story, for folks who are familiar with that, or the Facebook marketplace, depending on what we're advertising, right? We're going to target to a suite of different places within Facebook and Instagram and the parent company Meta that can place our ads. So we segment the ads for both traffic, which gets people to your website, and lead generation, which collects people's emails so that we can stay in touch with them. And then we use an ad budget of around $700 currently each month. We've had a ton of success with this. Even this sort of modest budget has really gotten us a lot of traction for AIDA. So people are commenting and saving the post and reacting to the post and sharing the post multiple, times. So 1,300 times so far this year. And then 62,000 different types of engagements. So whether they're clicking through a link, that's sort of just like every type of engagement. Clicking on a link, liking a page, sharing it with their friend. It comprises many different ways of engaging. That's sort of the biggest umbrella metric. And then in terms of the number of people that have actually seen the AIDA brand, seen the AIDA ads, that's hovering at 98,000, between 98 and 100,000. So we're really excited by these numbers. We feel like the reach has just been so successful with this modest budget. And then as you have the organic program growing, as you have the paid program going, these things are sort of complementary to one another. It's very, very heartening to see these numbers. This is, again, since the start of this year's campaign, which we kicked off, I think, in March. So I'm calling this the mid-campaign update, and we feel like these are some really awesome metrics year to date. So that has been incredibly energizing. And let me see here. In terms of what that actually costs, a breakdown, it's hovering under 50 cents per click, which is just tremendous for these types of ads. Facebook, as you know, is a crowded marketplace. There's lots going on. Everyone is running a Facebook ad. So to get this kind of cost per click is just really fantastic. It has driven people to the AIDA website 5,688 times. And that's people clicking multiple times, as you can see, because we've had 4,248 people clicking. So some people are clicking more than once, clicking on different ads, engaging with them. And we've also collected 235 emails through these ads. So the audience of people that we can reach through the monthly email marketing program is also growing exponentially as a result of the Facebook advertising program. I just wanted to highlight another big piece, of course, of this work is that we are making sure that the brand is familiar to people and known. So while there are, of course, it's always lovely to see when people are engaging with the brand. So Jack says pretty country too, right, in the wine region. Ruby says, I love my town. Suzanne is excited about the podcast. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of positive examples of the community that is being built online through the Take Root in Auburn brand.
Are there negative comments or posts?
Yes, I mean, so as part of running an ad program, you're always getting in front of folks who
I haven't noticed any.
we monitor all of this and we hide anything that is negative because it's not necessarily a productive conversation. If we see anything that anyone wants to highlight as, I tried to get on the website and I couldn't, for an example, we would always investigate that before responding. Anything that's useful, constructive, helpful, asking for feedback, we would engage with as part of the community management. But we don't keep up any negative comments. So we quickly monitor those and hide them if needed. There's always people on the internet who feel like they are entitled to say whatever they want to say. So we don't necessarily need to highlight them here, but we are really excited about some of these positive comments because it does just speak to sort of that organic community awareness that people are having as they love their town and want to support the IDA as well. So yeah. The other place where we're running paid ads is LinkedIn. So to talk a little bit about the organic metrics there, of course, LinkedIn is a place where the professional community comes together to talk about all manner of things. And there's, I think, a really big opportunity for economic development marketing on this platform. So LinkedIn is a place where you can follow your favorite companies. So AIDA has a page where people can follow along. And again, we post organic updates as well as run the paid program. So we've grown that number of likes on the AIDA page substantially in the past 6 months. And then we've also reached more people with that following. So we've reached the people that follow us, but then we also reach people through ads, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we also reach people through, networks, searching, sharing, those kinds of things. So what I want to draw out on this slide is the organic engagement rate. We are typically seeing for organic social an engagement rate of 3%. So the number of people who see the post, 3% of them on average will like or comment or share. For you all on LinkedIn, the organic engagement rate is over 10%. So that is just a really fantastic number. It tells us less about how many people are seeing the content, but in fact, how useful the content is to them. So this is an important metric that we really try to keep an eye on to make sure that what we're providing them is relevant. Information about starting their business in Auburn, site selectors, choosing Auburn, moving to Auburn, all those kinds of things. And so it indicates to us that what we're putting out there is reaching an engaged audience. As for ads, the LinkedIn ad platform is slightly more expensive per click than Facebook. So I just want to preface that the way that their tool works and the number of people who see it and the quality of the clicks that they get, they just have a slightly more expensive pricing tool. However, it is incredibly important, we believe, for the IDA to be advertising on this platform, again, because of the professional reach that it gets. So 164,000 impressions. On LinkedIn, we target not just the Auburn community, but also people in business development, operations and sales in the neighboring states and cities. So that is really exciting to see that people are seeing that from a broader location. And then the cost per 1,000 impressions is about $15. Again, not concerning in any way. It indicates to us that what we're seeing is a broad range of people viewing the IDA's ads and as you can see, clicking through to the website. So you're getting some awesome traffic from this. And then, as I mentioned before with Facebook, the organic and paid programs really serve to complement one another. I just wanted to provide some examples of the creative. So as you know, we are a social impact marketing and creative studio. We make all of our ads and we work with Michael and Taylor and the whole AIDA team to make sure that the ads are approved every month before we run them. But we really try to highlight the city of Auburn, quality of life, all kinds of things that site selectors and businesses and residents want. So I have some examples here that I just wanted to show you. These are some of the best performing creative that has been over the past 6 months. The work from here, work from home pun did really well. And that was one of our best performing ads. It targeted the sort of remote Ryan persona of the AIDA marketing strategy, which is folks who are living in Auburn and maybe working remotely. And so that was a really awesome and successful ad. Plenty more here. Call Auburn, New York home. This one I think is FLX Frank ad persona. So that's a really lovely one. And then because we are launching season 2 of the Auburn Possibility podcast, we've also been running some podcast related ads to make sure that people know there's an economic development podcast about Auburn, New York. So on Spotify now, as well as soon to be on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and of course, available on SoundCloud and the AIDA website, is this fantastic podcast, and we're pushing out last season to make sure that people are ready for this season. A couple more examples. This is on LinkedIn, similar experiences. This one is a video ad. They both are actually. So I'll play that other one for you too. And so we try to target each of those different marketing personas that we worked to develop with the marketing plan. But then we also try to target, businesses, workers, residents, etc. Email marketing quickly. Sorry, I know we're almost at time. So each month, using the emails that we have collected, as well as anyone who signs up on the AIDA website, we send out an email blast monthly. So that highlights the blog post from the month that we have written, as well as anything that's upcoming. Again, we work with the AIDA team closely to make sure we're aware of what's going on. I think you all are on the email list. So 252 subscribers with a 31% open rate, which is just really fantastic, especially considering that a lot of these signups are from Facebook. So it's people raising their hand saying, I'm interested, but not directly from your website, right? So even with this platform as sort of a pass-through, people signing up on Facebook, we're reaching the right folks because our average open rates are hovering between 20 and 25%, and AIDA's open rate is much higher than that. So we're very excited to see that we're, again, creating content that is useful to folks and that they are engaging with it. So I think this is such an awesome platform to grow in the months and years to come for AIDA. It's such a promising resource, especially as people turn, some people don't use social media. So to have this as an important platform as well to get the word out about what's going on in Auburn and the resources that AIDA offers. Key info on the website. We can talk more about this, but monthly blog posts, again, have improved site SEO and traffic. So making sure there's fresh new content on the pages every month really helps brings people to the Take Root in Auburn site, as well as the paid ads, which of course bring people to the site. So making sure that what's on there is vibrant and fresh and relevant is really a key goal of our work. And as you can see here, this is last year at this time in the orange line here, and then this year in the blue line. So we've had a tremendous increase, a 441% increase in page views year over year during the same time period. And again, this is hugely due to the paid program, due to regular organic posting, blog posts, bringing people in as well. And of course, all of our collective efforts to promote the IDA. So of course, you all know we have the second season of the Auburn Possibility coming up soon, a video project with you all still to do, and a second print piece forthcoming. We also, as you know, produced the rack card in April and came for a photo shoot as well. So there's lots and lots of tactics wrapped up in this program. I wanted to focus mainly on the places where you have paid dollars. So that's why I spent so long on those pieces. Happy to sort of let this sink in, take any immediate questions, but I do just want to thank you all so much for your time and for listening to the presentation and for your efforts to advertise the amazing city of Auburn and the IDA's resources. So thank you. It's really a pleasure to work with you all.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Question.
Hi, Bill. Katie McIntyre. Just curious if
Hi,
you,
Katie.
hi there. Nice to see you again. Have you already mapped out who the guests are on that podcast for season 2? Do we know who those folks are?
We do. We have all of the podcasts recorded, and we're in the mixing and mastering stages. We worked with Devin while she was here to make sure that we had a good mix of folks over the course really of the whole summer, scheduling and interviewing and those kinds of things. So I don't know, I don't have the names offhand, but I can send it to you all. We worked with her on sort of a list from last year and then what's new this year, those kinds of things. So I'm happy to pass that list along.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Terry, you had a question?
Yes, so I met with Devin and Gavin earlier this summer. And one of the things that was talked about in that meeting was the second print piece, which was what you had posted on the on there. Now, can you explain to the board, because I think that might be, we might need input on it for them. That print piece, we've already have a rack card, but that print piece could be a billboard, it could be, can you explain what other possibilities that print piece we could, how that can manifest itself, as far as what medium we could use, and maybe by, maybe by next meeting, we can at least have some idea of what would be useful, from your presentation tonight, moving forward, what would be that second print piece? So what are some ideas that
Yeah.
where else we could use for that print piece?
Great questions. Yeah, so I think there are so many possibilities. Obviously, you're right. The rack card really hits that that demographic of people picking up a quick piece. Maybe in the hotel or at a local community center, or while they're traveling in the area. But yes, to your point, a second print piece has the opportunity to go more in depth. If you all wanted to, it could look like, a one-page report on the city. I think we have that sort of Auburn 101 PDF that we could work into sort of like an informational infographic with some visual elements about living, working, doing business in Auburn. Or we could focus on one of those three if you wanted, or 2022 in review kind of thing, like what are the projects and accomplishments and where do we go from here, that kind of thing. So there's plenty of opportunities. It can also serve as a complement to the ambassador program with these sort of videos. If we end up using the video piece as an opportunity to hear from multiple downtown business owners or residents, to have a print piece that accompanies that with their photos. Lots and lots of opportunities. I think the keys would really just to be to make sure that we are clear about our audience, so that the piece can be as effective as possible, right? Because we want to use it to convert people to taking an action of some kind. So as long as we are collectively agreed upon on what that strategy and goal would be, I think it can take many, many different forms. And we are definitely excited to brainstorm that with you all.
Great, thanks. And again, like, I know Glenn and I were in the marketing committee, and
Yeah.
if you want to, set up a meeting with us, and Taylor, that way we could, we could see what your ideas are, and then maybe have them ready for next month, just to.
Yeah,
see.
sure.
Or November, again,
Yeah.
every month, so.
Yes, yeah, we're definitely busy with the podcast, full steam ahead with making sure that can get wrapped up and activated and out the door, which is very much a digital effort. And so I think at that point, we would want to turn our attention to the print and the video next to make sure those have some really awesome strategies. And yes, I think end of October, November makes good sense. And I do have copies. I have a copy of this report as well as each of the monthly reports for you all in that board format that we talked about. So I'll make sure those get over to you as well.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Terry, you mentioned one of the possibilities could be a billboard.
That was mentioned, yes.
So my question is, if we were to have a billboard, is the placement an additional cost that we would need to cover? Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So
if we look to see what we want to do, we need to think about cost.
Yes.
yeah, we do. Yeah, so that's right. AIDA handled the print cost, I think with A&M. It was with A&M of the rack card separately. And so a rack card, of course, is going to be less expensive than a billboard. But we do work with the team at Park Outdoor, which places the local billboards, and have done some really awesome. We have a good working relationship with them, and I can certainly get some pricing for you all if that's of interest. We always love working on billboards. And then there's digital options too, which are much less expensive than a print version of the billboard. But you could, call it print because it is up on the road, essentially.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Theo, thank you.
thank you all. It's nice to see you and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
All
Theo.
right.
Take
Bye.
care.
Due to scheduling conflicts, the governance board will be meeting next month before the meeting on the 19th. So
You also have finance next month. You gotta run them back to back.
well, yeah, because we can do them both in a half an hour. Yeah.
So do you want governance to be first at 4? No, I could do that.
4:30.
Well, if you're gonna have
Well,
finance,
finance, you have your budget, so that's gonna take you a minute to review.
Oh, okay, yeah. 4.
so 4, okay.
Okay. Is that good with you, Gwen?
Fine.
Okay, good. Okay. Next meeting will be October 19th. Here, and is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, Terry,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions carried. Thank you.